this is my body. This is my natural. I've had nothing done. And to get that kind of praise is cool. And especially, when you're getting older and people are like, damn, she looks good.
Yep.
That's amazing. It's a celebration. I love the fact that my body is being celebrated in that way because I love my body, you know? And for so many years, I didn't. And for so many years, I got into the whole dysmorphia, body dysmorphia. And, when I was a teenager with the eating disorders and all of those, I was made to feel so less than that now I'm like, I love this body. And I love that people are celebrating it because I want everyone to love their bodies.
Yeah. Tell us about a moment where you wish you would have said something and you didn't. There's nothing better than this. Say what you mean. 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 What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Ida Rodriguez. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Say What You Mean, where people stop by to share stories where they wish they would have said something and they didn't, and they get to do it here, and you get to hear it first. In my natural fashion, I start with my own Say What You Mean, and I'm trying to practice this where I share the Say What You Mean moment and I react the way I would normally react or where I used to react, my unevolved self, and then the response with someone who has a little bit of sense and is a grown-up. I don't know about this one. So my kindergarten teacher punished me for telling my mom that my other teacher was hitting me in the head with these big fat pencils. And so my mom came to the school and started a big fuss. But after my mom left, I was punished again for telling my mom. And I didn't tell my mom anymore. And then I stopped telling my mom when things happened to me because I got scared. And the only thing, what I want to say is, first of all, use a whack-ass bitch for doing that to somebody who's 5. What kind of human being does that kind of stuff to little children? Secondly, I hope that you have received it tenfold because children are innocent and, whatever. And what I would say as an evolved person is that I hope that whatever happened to you, you resolved in your life so that you wouldn't rain that on children. I knew it was racism and it was also abuse and it was just terrible. So I would say, as in the words of the Tupac, die slow, but that's not who I am anymore. So I hope you heal is my line. All right, so now rolling into the episode, I'm excited about my guest today because not only did she show up for me today, but she showed up while I was still in the developing stages of the show. And she's part of the reason why the show is now a show and we have the Forward Network and we have the people who have stopped by. But she is one of the best actors on TV and that I love. Like I watched Orange is the New Black, and when she stepped onto the scene and took over the kitchen, she took over my life. Because I was like, I finally see somebody who's like me on TV. And when people say, oh, representation matters, and they roll their eyes, it does matter to see somebody who looks like you, sounds like you, and feels like you when you feel like you never see people that way. So she's amazing. You've seen her on the George Lopez show. You saw her on Orange is the New Black. Lopez versus Lopez, Spider-Man. But you just starting to see her. She's just getting started. And I'm just excited about her because she used to live in New York and now she's in LA. And my world got a little bit warmer. Selenes Leiva.
Hi.
What's up, mama? How are you?
I'm great.
You are. You look so happy.
I'm happy. I got the boo,
I know.
The husband. Yes. We newlyweds.
I know.
6 months.
It's been 6 months?
It's been 6 months.
So your wedding is one of the most fun I've had in a long time.
I'm so happy you were there.
I was happy to be there. First of all, it was beautiful. It was so beautiful. Thank you. And it was so like real and authentic.
Yeah.
You guys met at a very unfortunate place.
Yes.
Dios te tenga en la gloria, Angelo. You guys met at a funeral.
Angelo Losada's memorial service.
Yes.
And my husband says I took advantage of him in his grief. I say he was inappropriate in his grief. No, I say, Angelo brought us together. That's the way I look at it. Like my partner, he made sure that I found love, that Mike found love, and here we are.
That's so beautiful. Yeah. The gift that just it kept on giving. Mm-hmm. Angelo was a very, very important person in comedy, especially in the New York scene. Again, representation matters. Permission for someone like me to say I can do that too.
Yeah.
So you guys got married, and one of the most fun parts of the wedding was when he said to you, when y'all did y'all vows, he said, "Thank God for that."
Thank God for that. Hey, and everybody was like that. That kind of like made everyone really. Yeah. Everyone was like in the middle of crying, tearing up, and then that really broke the ice. And,
it was cool.
It was like it's who we are. It's who we are. We're silly,
and that's what makes it. Yeah, that's what makes it what it is.
Absolutely makes it what it is.
We have fun. Plus, the other thing, the reception, it wasn't stuffy. There were kids there. Mm-hmm. Like it was. The thing is, when you go to weddings in LA and the Hollywood weddings, they feel very, more of the wedding, but that felt like a family.
It was
gathering.
Family. We wanted it to be a reflection of who we are.
Nice.
And, we're grown folk, we've been here, done that, and we found love and we wanted to celebrate it. And that's what it was a party. It was a real party. And I got to dance, eat, because usually people are like, oh, I didn't eat at my wedding. I'm like, no, I ate at my wedding. I made sure to eat.
I ate at your wedding too.
Yeah, we all did. It was good. It was good. So I'm just, and again, the people that were there because they mean something to me and I love you. And you had to be there.
I love you too. It was great. We had a good time. You have been, how many times do people come up to you and say, thank you for being who you are, because of you, I see myself?
A lot. And it never gets old. Mm-hmm. I love it. So don't feel like you can't do that. Like I love it because sometimes you don't realize what you're doing is somehow giving someone that boost that they needed, that hope. And sometimes I need it too. Like we all need to hear like what we're doing matters, We're in this industry that most times you don't hear that. Yeah. Most times all you're hearing is they don't want you, or you weren't young enough, you weren't tall enough, you weren't enough. And when I hear people say because of you, or you changed my life, or what you did, or watching you, that is everything to me because it is bigger than us, right?
Absolutely.
And you would hope that I have made it a little easier for the next person and that next person, and that's how it should be. It isn't always, that's not always the sentiment, but I love when people come up to me and say things like that. It matters.
People say it to me when they know I know you. They're like, they don't say it for me, but they're like, what? I love her. You know what? We always talk about like the importance of the craft. When you watch a show like Orange is the New Black, when everybody's in a jumpsuit and it's not about vanity, it's you got to pull up with the real acting chops. And that's when you see, and I just remember seeing this sector of actors that I'd never seen before because I've been in Hollywood, like these New York women who can get on a stage, the true actor's medium, and really come with it. How did that feel? Because it felt like you guys is like iron sharpening iron,
We were, and it was a little scary because, actors, we are supposed to show up camera ready, picture perfect, with all the gadgets underneath our clothes to suck it in, tighten up. And here we were like rolling out of bed. Sometimes they would make us look worse. Like I would sit there. I remember the first season, like the makeup artist, may she rest in peace, Karen, and she was like doing things to accentuate my pores. And I was like, girl, am I ever gonna work after this? But then it was also refreshing because it was us. Yeah. It was pure. You couldn't hide behind the glitz and the glamour and hair and makeup and lashes. You had to show up. You had to show up with chops and deliver. And it's a wonderful experience. It was great, and it was also like scary because you are so vulnerable, But so many people loved us.
Oh man,
for that.
Orange is the Black was that was like a culture shifting show.
It really was. And as, busted as I felt during that show, I got all kinds of proposals.
Oh, nice.
I had, people sending me all these love letters and all kinds of pretty hot messages on my DMs. I was like, damn. And this is me looking like that, So it's nice also to show up to places and people go, oh my God, you're so much prettier in person. I was like, thanks, I guess.
Did you ever hear from women in prison?
Yeah, absolutely. We worked a lot during Orange is the New Black with organizations that were about prison reform. And so we did a lot of work with Piper Kerman, the real Piper, to kind of shine light on women. And a lot of the women that we dealt with and spoke to were like, so happy that you're telling our story, because it's like that. We were having relationships with, some of the officers. Things got kind of crazy. Like it was, it wasn't so far-fetched from the stuff that you saw on the show. So, except for Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart, when I met her, she goes, oh, that show. I can tell you what it's really like. And I was like, okay, girl. Okay, girl.
When you were in your little posh pod.
Exactly.
Yeah, get out of here.
Yeah. But it was funny that she felt very much like she had done time so she could tell us what it was really like.
She been smoking too much of that Snoop weed. The importance of words, right? This is what the show is about. How important are words to you?
Words matter. They're everything, right? Actions also, I mean, obviously speak louder, but words matter. And as I get older, I realize, be careful what you say, because you can't take stuff back. And I am sometimes a little hot-tempered. I could, and I find myself, with the help of my husband and also my grown daughter, who's, going to graduate college next month, which is crazy. Linda. But, people like that have made me slow down and think about what I'm going to say before I say it. And that, I think, has been the key to my own peace. Yeah. Because, sometimes you just wall out and then you're like, uh-oh, I shouldn't have said that. Now I take a moment because I know that there's some things that once you say them, you can never take them back.
Yeah. You know. And we come from, culturally, people that, like, my mom used to be like, hija rayo te parta. And then I remember trying to figuring out that Marrayo te parta is like, may lightning
strike you in half, You're
and like, I was like, wait a minute, bro. Like, is that what you're saying too? I'm 8. But it's
cultural,
like and the power of words, Caribbean people can be so feisty and fiery. Do you remember a moment where you wish you would have said something and you didn't?
Unfortunately, I think I had in the past a lot of those moments, right? Growing up and all that stuff. But I think that one of the biggest things that I think I have regrets about, I think it was with my daughter. My daughter was bullied in middle school. Racism. It was pure racism. Really not cool. And she was bullied. And it was it was like when the current president it was his first time trying to get in office. And there was a lot of, people kind of like feeling certain things. And this was a progressive school. And it wasn't so progressive. And so I wish that I could have told a lot of those parents of the bullies, here you have your child in a progressive school with Martin Luther King posters, in the lobby, all these wonderful quotes, all these wonderful clubs for children of color and adopted children, like that. Yeah. And then at your core, you are teaching your children not to be empathetic, not to be sympathetic. And so I wish that I would have, and I did don't trust me, I did say something, but I think that I should have pulled a couple of those parents to the side and told them that they should probably be doing a better job. And I don't regret saying that right now, and I hope they're all listening.
I think it's important when you see bullies, you gotta look at the
and
parents.
Guess what? You gotta look at the parents. This is a reflection of something that you're doing at home. You know, I'll never forget one of the bullies, like the mother saying, well, you know, is it something that she's doing? And I'm like, what? You know, so the gaslighting and all that stuff. So I just felt it was an unfortunate, not everyone in that community is that, but there were a lot of people in that community that unfortunately could have done and should have done better.
Yeah.
But we're good now.
I bet.
You know,
she's
we're
about
good
to
now, and
graduate
she's
from
about
college.
to graduate. She's good, but you know, it was unfortunate. It was so painful to see my child going through that, and for me to look at the parents and the parents just be like, "Not my girl," you know, "Not my son," when it was that, you know. So it was really unfortunate.
That makes me so sad.
Yeah.
You know, I have a 7-year-old niece that's like she's my best friend, and I've trained her. So now she'll tell people at school, like, you don't want to mess with me because my tia,
Yeah.
she does this because I told her you do this. And then she
they'll
goes
get
and
it.
she's tall.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm going I'm
yeah,
jacking the beanstalk.
Yeah.
Because it's like you gotta scare the bullies before they get to the kids, because that stays with you forever for a long time.
And it was awful. And you feel like as a parent, all you want to do is protect your child and, you know, and have them fight their own battles and do that. But when it's completely out of hand and your child is physically like getting sick, there was like things done. And even at the yearbook, the little yearbook committee, they did something also like they had to republish the yearbook because there was something that, quote, slipped. And you just go, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, shame on you. And that's why I don't have any problems, you know, calling them out, because it was handled really wrong.
Well,
Yeah.
I it makes me angry. I lose words sometimes when I think
Yeah.
about that stuff. I have a segment on the show called "Should Have Kept That," and because you and I have our own social commentary, I think it's funny. I would love to hear what you would have to say about this. So I'll tell you the story, and then I'll ask you if you think they should have kept what they said. I have a few friends that I go dancing with. Outside of that, I don't have much in common with them. They started a book club and asked me to join. They know I love to read because I'm always talking about books, but I politely declined. One of them asked me why, and I just told them that I don't think we have the same taste in books. They kicked me out of the dance club.
They kicked him out of for having their opinion?
Yeah, what he said was, though, he thinks they're dumb.
Yeah.
And like
That's a polite way of saying they're dumb.
yeah, you know him. He said that he was like, yeah, I don't think we have the same taste in books.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, we don't need to. If you think we dummies, then why don't you go find somebody else to dance with? And it was more like, yeah, I don't think we have the same taste in books, but it felt a little snarky to them. And when he told me the
I don't
story,
think it was snarky. Do you think it was snarky?
yes.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, I know.
Because you know the person.
Yes, and I was like, "What you mean you can't read books with them? Like, it's a book club. They pick one book."
Yeah.
He was like, "Yeah, they probably gonna read." He said an incel book, and I'm gonna read. I don't read that kind of stuff. I'm more evolved, and I was like, they probably could feel that energy.
Okay, yeah. Then you should go and start your own club.
Yeah.
Yeah, start your own. Yes.
You with the other 3 nonviolent men left in America.
Yeah.
I said it. Okay, so say it with your chest. This is our lightning round. Smash or pass potlucks?
Oh. I smash or pass? Pass.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't like it.
Latinos are really bad with that.
I don't like it.
Would you rather read a physical book or read a book on a Kindle?
Oh, I want a physical book. I need to feel the pages. I need to smell it.
Yeah, I love
Remember that
books.
smell, the smell of books?
Yeah, I love
That-
books.
And you're like, oh, that smells good.
I love
Right?
book. How old were you when you can remember the first time being embarrassed?
Oh my gosh, I was probably like, I don't know, 7, 8. And I was at a public pool and my hair started to dry and it was out. And, it was like, now I'm like the big, beautiful hair, but I was made to feel because of colorism and all that stuff and racism within our own culture that my hair was wrong. And so my hair started kind of like expanding and everyone in my family laughed.
Aww.
And that was to this day, I think about that moment, that little girl, and I'm like, damn, y'all did her wrong. You know, so yeah, that was the first moment of true embarrassment.
You remember it so vividly.
I remember it. Like I everything. I remember how it felt. I remember the drips of the water falling on me. I remember that. And I was having such a good time, and that moment stopped it all. Yeah.
Are those people the ones who call you and ask to borrow money now?
Yeah, well, I don't keep in touch with a lot of those people. I don't, that's another thing. I've cleaned house.
Good for you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yo. Fight or flight, 3 baby dragons.
3 baby flight.
No.
What?
I love the reaction.
Yeah, I'm like, what? No, I wouldn't fight them.
Okay.
No. Baby dragons.
If you could say one thing to your favorite teacher, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's kind of like a good and bad. I'd be like, you were mean, but thank you for being mean. And thank you for introducing the arts to me. Mrs. Bernstein. She was, this teacher in the Bronx at MS 80 up on Marshallou Parkway. And she was so mean. But I understood where that was coming from. It was like hard, it was like tough love. And she was this Jewish woman, teaching these, black and brown kids in the Bronx. And she did care. And she had to be tough because we were tough. And she introduced me to opera. She introduced me, like the first time I heard, Madame Butterfly, the opera, I was like, I remember not understanding anything, but getting the feelings, and Macbeth and all these things. And it was through her that I understood what the arts was. And that was like when I really started to evolve and go, I want to do this. Whatever this feeling is, I want that. And so she helped with that.
What was your first job?
My first job was this little card and trinket shop. You know how they used to have a bunch of those little, like you used to go in there and buy like everything and cards. And it was off of Jerome Avenue in the Bronx. And I would go in there and my job was to, like clean the shelves and, take care of the merchandise. It was a tiny little hole in the wall. And the owner was this young Latina woman and she was so beautiful and cool. And I remember like, oh, this is so cool. And I made a couple of dollars there and I liked it because I didn't really work that much. I was just kind of there.
Yeah.
Taking care of the trinkets, It was perfect.
The figuras?
The figuras. It was just like figuras everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's with my first paycheck, I bought my mother this glass set. This wine and glass set. And she still has it to this day.
Wow, that's sweet.
And so that to me felt like I was able to save enough money to get my mother that. And that was, and she put it in the chinero, and the famous chinero. It made it to the, so yeah. So it was nice.
This is so funny, like I can close my eyes and go right back to my grandmother's apartment and slide on the plastic couch that was
or get stuck.
Yeah, if you got on shorts, you get stuck and it burns when you get up. And the figuras, like my grandmother had like all these figurines, porcelain figurines all over the place. And then there's Jesus somewhere in,
it was all about the figurines. Yeah. And that's why now I'm like, I don't like any of those things. I'm like, don't want it. Don't give it to me. If I go to a party and they're like, mira, the party favor, I pretend to forget it and leave it right there. Yeah. I don't want any of it because I grew up with it.
Me too. No, I know. I remember your registry. I was like, yo, how we found a $300 spoon? I was like, this is silly.
That's my registry. But my husband, look at him peeking out. He's like, nothing I wanted made it to the registry. I was like, you wanted a whole sauna.
Is that what you wanted? You wanted a sauna?
Yeah, he did. That was one of the things. I was like, honey, we can get our own sauna.
We would have all been pooling our money together to get Mike a sauna.
Yes, exactly.
Man, by the way, big ups to you and your husband because during the LA fires, your husband was out there fighting the fires.
My husband is a firefighter.
Yes, a real life hero.
He was out there with, so much. The LA Fire Department really did their thing, and while they were in the brush fire, my husband and they had to take care of everything else. And there was at that moment in time, it really did feel like the world was ending out here. It was crazy.
Yeah, we were on a group text.
Yeah, and we were all like, "Oh my God, where are you going?" We're trying to escape LA, and I was like, "I can't leave my husband behind." Like it was intense. So yeah,
that's a real life hero. Oh, look at the producer sent me a message to say, clarify that he wasn't a prisoner.
Yeah. My husband is not a prisoner. He was not forced to put out the fires. He is part of the LA Fire Department. Thank you for that.
Yeah, he's free.
Not that there's nothing wrong with the prisoners and helping out.
No, congrats. That was also beautiful to see them go out there. And I watch all the firefighter shows, by the way. I watch 911. I watch 911 Lone Star.
Yeah.
I watch Fire Country. Like
all of them.
I have it's amazing. I have such a respect for firefighters more than I do for cops. Like it's a very interesting dynamic to see. And then when I went to the firehouses, I saw so much diversity here.
Yeah.
And I was like, all these young kids, because
they're babies.
I went and took snacks and stuff to them. But it's such a I don't know. I guess when you see a fire and you're like, oh, they run towards it.
We run away and they are running towards it. So that is always, I always say I don't like to think about too much what he does.
Yeah.
Because if I do, then I'll be like, okay, you can't do this anymore. Right. So I try to kind of desensitize myself and be like, yes, yeah, okay. I think of he's a firefighter in Station 19, that kind of a TV show. But I don't want to think too much about what he does on a daily basis.
Man, how does that work now? That must be balance, you and him, because you talking about auditions and sets and being in the presence of whatever, and he out there
really doing something. I'm over here I have 5 scenes to memorize, and I can't believe that they took this line out that I really wanted to say, and he's just like, my body hurts, my feet hurt, and that's real. But I think that's the beauty of what we have. There's a balance, It's not all about the Hollywood scene, when you have somebody in your life that is doing of service. He is of service to so many. So it is a balance. Although I think he wants to act.
Is that right?
I wanted to hear the laughter. Did you hear the laughter? He's like, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
It doesn't feel fun when I think somebody like him must look at us and be like, those people are crazy.
I think he does. I think he's like, my wife is crazy and her friends are all crazy. I think that he secretly, not so secretly, thinks that we are all insane.
Yeah.
But I think we entertain you, right, hun?
he gave her the look.
He gave me the look.
So the other day, you were somebody sent me a TikTok of you.
Oh.
And it was like praising your body.
Oh, wow.
And it was like you had on something very form-fitting on the Lopez versus Lopez show. And they were like mom with a bod or something like that. How does that feel?
You know what? It feels amazing because for so long I was made to feel that, again, that I wasn't enough, that my body, that there was something wrong with my curves, where now everybody's getting them, BBL is everywhere, and where this is my body, this is my natural, I've had nothing done, and to get that kind of praise is cool. And especially, when you're getting older and people are like, damn, she looks good.
Yep.
That's amazing. It's a celebration. I love the fact that my body is being celebrated in that way because I love my body, you know? And for so many years, I didn't. And for so many years, I got into the whole dysmorphia, body dysmorphia. And, when I was a teenager with the eating disorders and all of those, I was made to feel so less than that now I'm like, I love this body. And I love that people are celebrating it because I want everyone to love their bodies.
Yeah.
You know, so this, I'm bring it. You know, she's Nana with a body, you know, and I'm loving it. And my husband likes it too.
I was going to say, and so do a lot of other people, because a lot of people sent me that. And you know what's funny? The person who did the TikTok was a young woman.
And I love that.
And she was like, this is the kind of body representation that I want to see. And like sometimes, you know, like the TikTokers that, not sometimes, a lot of times, but to see the younger people, you know.
And I get that. I get a lot of love from the young women.
Yes.
Like, oh my God. Or like goals, you know, body goals. And I'm like, damn, okay, we still got it going on. You know, because as you get older, as you know, we start becoming a little bit more invisible. Like women after a certain age, between the ages of 40 and 60, I think that there's something that happens, you know, where we're made to feel less than, not sexy. You know, like sexy is only for 20-something-year-olds. And then when you are celebrated in this way, it's like, okay, that's cool. I can hang with that.
Well, it's because between 40 and 60, you can afford to pay for all the stuff that they tell you need to still be sexy, to be attractive. And now they got young people like selling their blood to buy all kinds of stuff, or plasma and all that stuff.
Crazy to me, crazy. I'm like, nope. I love all of this with the dimples and the cellulites and all of it.
The real
it's
stuff,
good. The real stuff, it's good.
The real stuff, I love it too. So what is coming up for Selenes? Like, I know people can see you on Lopez versus Lopez is on Netflix.
Lopez versus Lopez, first and second season is on Netflix, and then we're also streaming on Peacock. All the seasons streaming on Peacock, and other projects that are kind of coming up. I did a little. There's a new show coming on Peacock that you'll see me poke my head in.
Nice.
And that's for now, also just loving home life.
I'm sure.
I love being at home. I love all my fur babies. We got 3 dogs and a cat.
Okay.
And I just love life right now. Even with all the craziness that exists, I always tell my husband, I love our life.
Aww.
I love our life. I really do. I tell that to my girl too. I'm always like, I love my life.
It's beautiful.
And it's not about the material. It's just, I feel so content.
Nice.
There's a peace that I have never felt. And I didn't think I would ever feel, being an actress, being in this business, being an Afro-Latina, being all the things that I have always been told were so not right, feels so right.
I love it. I remember before you met him. Yeah. So I saw, and then I remember you brought him to the Imagen Awards, and she was like, hello,
this is my boo. And she was like, oh, he's a good one. He's a good one.
Yeah,
and if Ida would have been like, I don't know, I'll be like, oh, I don't know.
No, you can always tell the man that's with my grandmother always used to tell me to watch their eyes if they got roaming eyeballs. Beware.
That's right.
They didn't have the Roman eyeballs. No. And y'all both sat there and told me y'all met at a funeral, and I was like, it's gotta work.
She's like, it's gotta work.
I love it though. And I mean, you worked a lot. Yeah. You went from Orange is the New Black to a show on Disney, the Lopez verse. So taking a little bit of some time to enjoy because you about to be popping again.
It's about to happen again. So whenever I get to just be home, I love that. We have our new house that we're kind of setting up also. Nice. And I love it. I want to plant vegetables. I want to plant flowers. That's what I want to do right now, and decorate and all the good stuff. And because I know the work, once it starts coming, then it's a roller coaster ride. And
I want to plant vegetables.
Yeah, I want that right now.
I want to get to the point in my life where I'm like, we need some carrots around.
I'm telling you, I was like, I think we need some bell peppers back there. So I think I'm excited about that.
That's so funny. So our audience is heavy on social media. So please tell them where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Selenes Leiva Official. I'm so bad with this. I would probably have more followers if I knew all of my handles.
Yeah.
Just look me up. It's Selenes Leiva, spelled Selenis Leyva Official.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming again and being here for the second part. We had to do it again because I needed you on this. So I I really appreciate you.
Anything for you, Ida.
I love you. I mean, she
love you.
come to the comedy
Listen.
shows, incognito.
I'll be
I
there.
appreciate- I
I'm not, Angie Martinez introduced us years ago in New York City. She's like, yo, there's a comic. We were having drinks. She was like, I'm going to check this comic out. And I said, I'll go with you. And we met and I watched you and I was like, oh, she's my people.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And we ain't seen Angie Martinez since.
Since.
She's acting now too. So
She is.
yeah.
She's out here doing her thing. Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you, love.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Say What You Mean. We want to invite you to follow us on social media at SWYM Pod on all social media platforms. If you are listening, please hit the subscribe button if you're on Spotify or Apple. If you are watching, please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to give us your rating and your review, and we will see you next time on Say What You Mean.